Christmas, I spent my IDP with IDP people in Makurdi in Christmas. And in New Year was another IDP camp in Abuja. And I said to them, as long as Nigerians are in IDP, all of us are in IDP. I will not allow, and I know that you will not allow it, for any Nigerian to remain in IDP while we're sleeping in our mansions. Never. They must go back.
Obidati 2023. Obidati 2023. Obidati 2023. Oh, if na wise, we don't wise up, oh man. Obidati 2023. Obidati 2023. Obidati 2023. Oh, Jepa Kakadin now we obedient. Person talk say na talk to rule, they come ask am. Wetin you go do if you begin the rule? Oh yeah, make you listen. Chai, also no cassava and abado. Recruit 50 million youth into the army and shey una dey hear am? Shine your eye. Make we dey obedient and useful to our nation. Don't let this opportunity come dey pass you by. Because obedience is better than sacrifice. They don't say we go labor till we die, but God forbid, my guy, our labor cannot be in vain. Chineke kwena ngwere kwaji, get your PVC, kibinyaka, ebesere Obidati. Okay, cast your vote where they drop papa mama pikin. Labour Party, ebesere mado. Let's be useful.
Enough is enough, yo. Now we can suffer be this, yo. I beg we no to suffer again, oh. We no to suffer again, oh. Again, oh. Enough is enough, yo. From top to bottom, oh. Now so they tell us so. We don't know say they mean, they mean. Ebelebe epolan, them Obidati go visa. From bottom to top, oh. Obidati go visa, them go visa. Yeah.
Okay. Now we first say we there for hard time, my fellow obedient youth. This now our turn to shine. Don't be lazy, go collect your PVC. 2015 they talk say na change, we buy and finish, they no give us change. But for the look of things, omo, wetin we dey right now, we dey for change. Abi make I talk about ASUU strike, poor economy, high rate in dollar, wey common man no fit use naira buy dollar. Abi make we talk about bad road, insecurity, civil servants sef no hope for basic amenity, if I go calamity. Make una vote Mr. P2B and Yusuf. Oya thank God, P2B and Yusuf don come. If not, be for choose between Otapiapia and Sniper. Don't be a hurry to forget Lekki massacre. Paleti where dem hide, abi you don't forget. Don't let these people use you with one Indomie, one bag of rice and 2,000 or more, and your switch on the sell. On a Labour Party now we know. Obidati 2023. Obidati 2023. Obidati 2023. Oh, if na wise, we don't wise up, oh man. Obidati 2023. Obidati 2023. Obidati 2023. Oh, get your PVC and vote P2B and Ahmed Yusuf. Labour Party. Jepa Gandhi Sagadana. Obedient family.
Hello, Obedience. Good afternoon from Nigeria. If you are outside the country, in Canada, in US, we say a very good morning to you. And our good friends, compatriots, those of you who are in London and other parts of Europe, good afternoon to you. Today is Thursday, and it has been a while we gathered together. Yes, I know very well, people might be wondering what has been going on. So my humble self, Tochwilo. I welcome you today, and I want to tell you that I've missed you quite a lot. With me is Obinna, my very good friend and brother, a compatriot and a fellow obedient. He's joining us as usual from Benin City in Edo State. Obinna, how have you been?
Good afternoon, Nigerians. Good afternoon, Mr. Tilo. It's great again to meet you all. Few days to the coming
Yeah.
election. It's for me. It's been grassroots work ongoing for the success of the
Yeah.
election. So, and I'm sure that we all out there are also prepared to face what we are going to meet on the day of the election, 25th February. Nice
Mhm.
meeting you today, Mr. Tilo.
Nice meeting you, my brother. And we've been hearing quite a number of things, happening in the country. And the campaign for the presidential election is heated. And in the past days and weeks, the presidential candidates and the campaign teams have been on their toes, going from place to place. Importantly and distinctively, our principal, Peter Obi, and Ahmed Dati, they have been so engrossed in the campaign, and they do it with youthful energy, moving from place to place. Some places they will leave and spend like 3 hours, and they will move from there to another distant location. And it becomes amazing to most people, asking, how does Peter Obi do this? He will be in the one extreme part of the country in the morning, and then in the afternoon, he is at the opposite extreme. How does he do? Does he even rest at all? Well, we thank God for his grace upon this fine gentleman. But those of us who have followed his story closely and deeply, we know that Peter is a man who does not rest until the work is done. He hardly goes to sleep because he wants things to be done and done properly. So it's not a surprise to us. And this is how we know someone who has the energy to deal with the tooting Nigerian problems. They are everywhere. And so we thank God for Peter Obi, and we pray to God to please sustain him as he has been doing, keep him protected, and energize him to do even more. Above all, God should please give Peter Obi the same mind of men and the women who will work patriotically with him to deliver this country from the current situation. Talking about the current situation in Nigeria, the fuel scarcity, or should I call it fuel crisis? And again, the one that is causing even a greater problem, cash crunch. Well, we have found ourselves here. Many of us did shout in the year 2015 against enthronement of APC government. We are vindicated now. When you don't have proper plan, everything is trial and error, and nobody thinks deep to know the possible consequences of policy, statements, and they just keep trying. And this is where we are. So down here in Anambra State, people are looking rugged. No bank gives money, and this is a trading environment, okay, that cash is oftentimes needed more than the electronic banking. So there's no cash anywhere. Then the fuel is in serious scarce quantity. There is no fuel anywhere. And that's why for us in this program, we couldn't function for the past 2 to 3 weeks, simply because at night, the public power supply goes off. There is heat everywhere, and we lack the capacity to get fuel to fuel the generators. And we don't think it's stopping very soon, unless a miracle happens. So in the bid to keep connected with our lovely viewers and followers, obedience, and Nigerians in general, we thought it wise to reschedule our time of program to be in the afternoons. Hence, we are at this hour. Please bear with us. The election vote. How prepared are you? Put that question there. Before you answer it, let me ask my good friend and compatriot Obinna. What is life in Benin City, given the fuel scarcity and again the cash crunch? How are people managing?
Thank you very much, Mr. Tilo. You know, the situation in Nigeria is, should I say, is something that has gone beyond control. And marching it down to Benin City here, everything that happens in Nigeria becomes times 2 or 3 inflation here in Benin, simply because of what we know as union thing. Even those who sell pumpkin leaf has union right here in Edo State, and if you are not a part of the union, you will not be allowed to sell your produce in the market. Now, the problem of the fuel hike, we got to the point where fuel was sold for 800 naira in Benin City before the youth took to the street to insist that this fuel must not go beyond this level, where you will not have to take a short distance. I'm talking about less than 2 poles, and you are meant to pay a minimum of 100 naira. Ordinarily, if you are making such a distance on a normal day before, you should be paying like 30 or 40 naira. Now, make an estimate of it that you are moving from the Popular Point Ring Road and you are moving to Oluku. That means you will be ready to make a payment of 500 naira for just your fare in order for you to be able to get to that destination. And it went as far as affecting citizens in Edo State. Citizens could not even afford. They could not afford getting fuel to run generators in their house. Already, we are aware that there is no power supply anywhere in Nigeria. You have to wait for a minimum of 3 days before you will be able to count that you have consumed 6 hours of a light. What do I mean? You can have 1 hour today, you can have 1 hour tomorrow, and maybe the next day they give you 3 hours. This is the situation. That's what's happening right here in the city of Benin. Nigerians, you are hearing what I am saying. Now, in the aspect of finance, there is a shortage of cash flow. There is no cash in any bank and major ATMs, not until 4 days ago when there was an enforcement by the central bank cash policy committee that all banks begin to place cash in their ATM machine. Of course, we all know that there's a limit for withdrawal at the moment, both on counter and on the ATM machine. So, but even that very little cash that has been assigned that could be withdrawn has been a problem for our citizenry. Like in my place of work presently, it is we usually get a cash payment as more in number before, but people now have to go with the option of transfer and of point of sale, which is the POS machine, to make their payments. People are suffering. Those who are sick cannot visit the hospital because they don't have means of moving, and livelihood. People are not able to survive because most market women will not want to collect. They will not want to they'll tell you they don't have a means of transfer. They cannot accept transfer, and they don't have POS. You'll be making payments with. So all they want is that you go get cash come in and they would allow you to make a purchase of the goods at which you have come in for. It's quite terrible. It's quite terrible. It's a very ugly situation that we are facing right here in Benin. I tell you, the issue of cash and the issue of fear is one of the major things that Nigeria have been so dependent on. Right now, when these things were heard, you can see that it has affected Nigeria so well that so many persons have even died from starvation. Some have died as a result of dragging to get to the POS machine, and certain other conditions has caused so many problems for people. People are not able to survive. Jobs are not ongoing. What are we talking about? Any area you want to come in from, it's affecting everybody. The only people that are not affected right now by what is ongoing are our greedy politicians who have taken enough of this new Naira note to their own houses and come out in public to deny that it was a missing road, that the bullying van missed its way and they decided to enter the compound. You know, it is quite annoying that things like this are happening and people are seeing it. And the worst of all now is those who run POS in town, across Nigeria. I'm sure it has been experienced everywhere, that they will now have to go buy cash from different points, some in the market, just to be able to serve their customers because of the cash policy limit that have been placed on all accounts, both individual and corporate accounts. So the situation is quite terrible. Now people withdraw 2,000 naira for 400 naira. That is to say that 1,000 naira is being withdrawn for 200 naira. So just make your calculations that you are making a withdrawal of 10,000 naira. That means you have paid 2,000 naira to get 10,000 naira out of a POS operator. So the situation is quite worrisome. And we saw our principal when he spoke on this the current crisis in Nigeria. You see, everything that started surfacing itself now has sometime be prophesied that we are going to be experiencing some of these things, especially when God wants to intervene in the life of Nigeria. So the only courage that we take is that February 25th is around the corner, and it is in hardship that Nigerians are supposed to be able to make.
You are absolutely correct in your analysis.
The suffering is much, and because of this, they will begin to reject bribery that is to come on the day of it. I give kudos in one way to some of our reasonable Nigerians in public offices who heads and say politicians from hijacking the election with their funds and with their money, as they are the owners of the country. Nigeria by no man.
Yes, you were correct in your analysis, and I just want to.
I see no reason why individuals want to take a chance to say I am the owner of Nigeria. On the 5th, and then finally on the day our president went in. So I heard Nigerians, you have done the needful in collecting your voters' cards. That which you have done is already seen. For still yet to get their voters' card, there are still means ongoing through your local governments, through your wards. There are still plans that are still being made by the coordinators to help you reach out to INEC to see how they can get your voters' card at least before February 17th, so that you can be a part of this election. Cast your vote wisely. That is the most important thing, so that we can have a better Nigeria that has been professed.
Very good.
So, Mr. Tino, that is the situation from Benin City. I saw Mr. Luke on with us.
Okay. Please bring him on board. Okay, why he's coming up? Analyzing the situation in Nigeria at present, it's heartbreaking. Okay, and what he just told us happening in Edo and Benin City precisely is a replica of what is going on in the east and of course in the western part of the nation and possibly all around. Okay, now our people, Nigerians, should know this. It's not enough to collect your PVC. You must put it to use, and to good use. And what's that good news? The good news for your PVC is that you cast your vote for Peter Obi of Labour Party, so that we will have a proper change of government. And of course, change in ideology. Because it's not actually the change of a government that's our problem, it's the change of ideology. The same people who have been running this nation, who have been changing colors, doing the same thing, the same ideology, the same thoughts, and the same style. That's the problem. We can't keep doing the same thing over and again, and we be expecting a different result. Now, this is about a paradigm shift. And this paradigm shift already is happening because in the campaigning process, we notice that something different has been going on. For the first time in recent years, we are having 3 or 4 parties competing strongly in this election. Not only the 2 major parties, as we had some 4, 8, 12, 16 years back. It is now 3 major parties, and of course, 3 strong candidates. And the strongest of these 3 candidates is in a party that is different from the 2 known parties that have been holding power in this country. So there is a paradigm shift already. For everything that P2B is involved in, there is a clear change in style and in ideology. Nobody went to the street amongst the candidates now. Nobody amongst the candidates pepper, granite, sugar cane from the streets has been led to rest by Peter Obi, who just joined the expect again that even his campaign is not monetized. He hasn't been sharing money, and he said he's not going to do that. It's about time our people think deep, wake up, and go for the real value, not just 2,000 naira, which they finish same day and now mortgage their 4 years of life. So the same change, real and sincere change, is going to keep happening throughout. Starting now, way into the election proper, and of course, post-election period, and up to the time of handover, swearing and handover, and then going forward. So we thank God for this opportunity, and I urge every Nigerian, please do not waste this God-given opportunity. Pick your PVC, make sure you go to your polling unit and cast your vote for Peter Obi of Labour Party. What you see there is LP, and the logo is Papa, Mama, Pikin, all together, sitting and facing you. So you cast your vote with your index finger, okay? Make no mistake, so that you don't cast an invalid vote. Remember, it must be for LP. LP means Labour Party, and Labour Party is Peter Obi Ahmed Yusuf Gatti. It is you and I for a new Nigeria. Okay, having said that again, I will remind us, one of the presidential candidates said that Peter denied Jesus. And how then can you trust Peter this time around? Well, it's the same thing we keep saying. When people bring a lexicon, they change it to the advantage, and they carefully and intentionally refuse to go detailed, saying everything that happened. But thank God for the wisdom that he has given our principal Peter Obi in response to that very comment. He said, they forgot that the same Peter in the Bible is the one that Jesus built the church upon when he said, "You are the rock, and upon this rock I'll build my church." So, himself being Peter Obi, that is standing on same premises and asking Nigerians to trust him with this country, and he is going to rebuild this country. For me, and for many of us who believe in these signs and the samples, he is not just going to rebuild this country, Nigeria. He has already started rebuilding it, starting with the change he has brought into the election and the electioneering. Change he has brought into campaigns. He is already changing the narrative. What about the consciousness that he has put in the minds of Nigerians, especially the youths, the great youths of these countries? Aluta continua, greatest Nigerian youths who defied the norm, came out en masse without cohesion. They went for their PVC. They registered, spent hours and days queuing up. And then now that it's time to go and pick the PVCs, they still went back, spending hours and days under scorching sun. That is part of rebuilding our country. Political consciousness and the participation amongst the youths. Thanks to Peter Obi, and thank God for bringing such a man in our time. The question is, will you, a youth, still allow yourself to be confused by those who have held us down with their legs? No. For me, no. I hope for you, it will be no. Okay. Having said that, look at his campaign team. Peter Obi Presidential Campaign Council. Look at that team. What do you see? People that have got number 6. Oh yes, Aisha Yusuf is there.
We have 1 hour online. I don't know who this person is. So I think
Okay.
he's a member of my team.
Okay, bring him on. He's a Nigerian. We believe that all of us can work together and build a better nation. Bring him on. He's talking to us.
Please, can you speak?
And he should put on his camera. Please put on your camera.
I'm sorry, I'm not able. I just want to hear you guys.
Okay, well, at least you can say hi to Nigerians.
Yes. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning.
Yeah, good.
I wish every one of us luck. I pray that Peter Obi becomes the president of Nigeria. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm sure our viewers are listening. And again, I would want to have a celebration with you, the same way with every other Nigerian, on the 26th of this month, when the results will start trickling in. The moment Peter Obi is declared the president-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it's gonna be carnival. It's gonna be carnival.
Exactly.
You know, I would like to come on this program and all of us come live and celebrate.
I'm sure it's going to be one of the biggest celebrations Nigeria will ever have.
Oh yes,
it's coming true. So
you remember what happened in 1996 when Nigeria took the Olympic football cup tournament, right? Olympic medal in football. You remember the celebration that night when Kano Nwankwo Popido performed the wonder and we became the world champion in Olympic, taking the gold medal home. That kind of celebration will be nothing compared to what will happen on the 26th when Peter Obi will be declared the president-elect. It's going to be massive. You know, for me and everybody around me, is going to be celebration. It will be a vigil. There will be no sleep on that day because we'll be celebrating, and we are going to have a live session like this where Nigerians will come online and will celebrate together. I love this nation. I love Nigeria. We are the best people to stay with, and that is why I urge everybody, on the 25th, wake up early. Make sure you have your PVC with you. March to your polling station on time. Make sure you are there before the arrival of the electoral officers, so that you will see them coming in. You look at the BVAS machine. Make sure it is at 0 record. Follow the accreditation process to ensure that it's properly done. Now follow the voting process. Cast your vote peacefully, no violence, okay? Cast your vote peacefully and stay back to ensure that no anomaly take place. While you are doing that, buy yourself some snacks, whether it's as breakfast or as lunch. Buy yourself something, and please buy one for your neighbor. That's why we are obedient. We are our brother's keepers. So when you buy for yourself, please buy something for the next person, so that people will have the energy to remain at the polling booth, monitor the voting process, make sure that the counting is properly done and what is counted is properly recorded, and ensure also that the polling officers, okay, transmit the results electronically as speculated by the Electoral Act. When that is done, ensure that the result sheet is properly pasted at the polling unit. This is our role as patriotic Nigerians. So we encourage you to ensure you do that. There will be no work on that day. Thanks goodness to the National University Council. They have instructed the universities all over, both federal and state universities and private, to close school on the 22nd of this month to enable students to go back home, or rather to their various polling units, and cast their vote. So there is going to be massive and full participation this time around. We appeal to every employer, private, public, please allow your workers to go back to wherever they have registered. So please, let it not be only on the 25th. On the 24th, there should be public holidays. Everybody should observe it so that people will go home and cast their votes. So the bankers, the multinationals, the nationals, and the subnationals, every employer, please do not hold your workers back. Allow them to go home. No work on 24th, being Friday, no work. People should use that time to find themselves to their polling units, so that by morning of 25th, which will be the public holiday, people can just trek as if you are going for morning workout. You just, get to your polling unit with your PVC and do the needful. Be friendly, be kind to other Nigerians. Everybody, we are one. We should love ourselves. As you drink water, give your neighbor. As you eat biscuit, give your neighbor. Whatever you can find that will sustain you and sustain your neighbor on that day, please take it along. And remember, the objective is to save this country by taking back this country from the hands of those that have held this country down, and we now build what God has destined us to build. It's our time and it's our turn. Nobody can take it from us. Great Nigerian youths. Okay, now we are thinking that Luke was about joining us. Maybe his network hasn't been so good, and we hope it becomes better so he can join us. Now, we were talking earlier in this program about the cash crunch. I want to advise Nigerians, when a situation that is difficult comes your way, it may not be the best to spend your time fighting it this way. Finding a way to handle it better might be the best thing to do. Before now, the central bank and the commercial banks have jointly and consistently advised Nigerians to embrace electronic banking, either through POS, ATM, web, USSD, or even internet banking. You can do anyone. Yes, it has come with its own challenges. Many people complained of being defrauded through one of these means and all that. But you see, it's important also that we begin to learn how to keep our details secret and safe from other people, including possibly spouses, children, uncles, aunts, and others, close relatives. They shouldn't know your banking details. All right. So when you decide to let them know that, you take full responsibility. What am I saying? At this point in time, it's important also that we'll start exploring the use of these alternative payment systems. One might argue that it's not reliable because the facilities are not robust. That is true. And so we are calling on the commercial banks, the network providers, and possibly the CBN and insurance companies to prevail on network providers to increase their capacity so that the various alternative payment systems will become functional and get to be very much reliable. I don't know what it would take the central bank to flood everywhere with smaller bills. Talk about 10 naira, talk about 20 naira, talk about 50 naira, and 100 naira bills. You know those old notes that are not changed. Flood them everywhere. What do we even need cash for? You need cash for ancillary purchases. Those small purchases that cumulatively don't get to be above 2,000 naira. That's why you need it. If you're leaving your house in the morning and you're going to take public transport to your office, you're thinking about maximum of 2,000 naira transportation. So what happens if you have 2,000 naira by way of 100 naira notes? That means you can transport from one point to the other. You can even buy small trucks on the way. All right? So, let me conclude this before we say that. So, when you have 2,000 naira on you, you can comfortably transport yourself for the day to your office. Okay. Now, if you need to buy food and other things, okay, you can make transfer. Either you're using USSD, the way we type text messages on phone, or you're using your app to pay. Right? You pay for those ones. Invariably, it means that purchases that will be above 2,000, maybe 3, 4, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, you can pay electronically. That would be fine. But you need some small bills in your pocket, you know, for maybe buying of snacks or maybe to transport yourself. So, and these are the things that small bills can do for us. So I encourage every Nigerian to please think in that direction. Let central bank also consider printing more of these small bills and flooding everywhere. What will it do for us? Two things. The average Nigerians and low-income earners will have enough notes to transact with by way of 10 naira, 20 naira, 50 naira, 100 naira. They will have that to transfer. People who do normal trading inside the market, sell paper and all those level of things will be in business because they will have cash. Secondly, it will reduce crime in the sense that even the kidnappers who abduct people and demand ransom will find it difficult to carry huge money, because if they demand, say, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, stupidly as they do, if they demand that from families of kidnapped victims, and families will go looking for such money, when you are getting 5 million, 10 million, 20 million in 100 naira bills, okay, it will be big. How do you convert it to wherever the kidnappers will ask that person to take it to? And even the kidnappers, how would they convert it to wherever they want to make use of it? The money will become so bulky. So the inconvenience alone will be a deterrent. I believe so. Now, the corrupt politicians who mop up cash and hoard waiting for election period, they will not find it easy to do that, because you won't have high bills to take away billions and keep in your house. If you are doing it in 100 naira notes, it becomes so inconvenient for you to do that. So CBN, think about this. If you can hear me, help Nigerians. All Nigerians need is cash for small bills, small transactions. So we need from 100 naira down, print those notes, those bills, and flood everywhere with it. Let it be what the ATM can even dispense. ATM does not really need to dispense 1,000 or 500. Let the banks have 100 naira, 50 naira, 20 naira, 10 naira. Let it be what the ATMs would dispense, because that is what people need to make small purchases. Anybody that wants to do transactions of 1,000 naira up can now use the electronic banking channels to do all that. The less we have cash in circulation, really, the more organized our society will be, and less crime. So, obedience, Nigerians, let us support what will help us to live a better life. And I believe that this is part of it. Okay? Finally, the fuel. I join patriotic Nigerians to plead on the federal government. Please, look into the fuel crisis. We've heard that the independent importers claim to be importing fuel at higher rate, while the government-owned companies, the NNPC, as it's called, recently privatized, still import at a cheaper price. I don't know what causes the difference, but can't they all import from the same source and get it at the right price? Why should some people be selling fuel at 197, some will be selling at 20, and then you have somebody selling at 500 a liter? We don't really understand that. Something is wrong somewhere. So let the authorities concerned look into this matter very well. First, starting from source of purchase, importation, duties paid, and all that. And then, of course, the distribution within the country. It's important that we look at this, all right? So that we'll save Nigerians all these huge problems and make life better. If it is done, I believe that a whole lot would have been gotten right. And thank you very much. I want to also ask our viewers, we are going to run this program again. What time, when next do you think we should come online so that people can join us, at an hour like this?
We can, if tomorrow works out for us, fine. If it's Sunday, but certainly on Monday, we will be up again online.
Okay. Usually we do have Tuesdays, Thursdays, and the Saturdays in the evening time, but now we are changing to daytime. Today is Friday, and we just did a test now, and it's successful. Maybe we should do this again tomorrow. Okay.
Better.
At the same time tomorrow. That's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
3 p.m.
Yeah, on 3 p.m. And then we can run again on Tuesday.
Tuesday, 3 p.m. before the debate.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Okay, we usually run on the Thursdays, and
Saturday.
we run on Saturday. Oh, the election is by the corner. We just have about 15 days, so we do more after tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do tomorrow. Tomorrow is sacrosanct, 3 p.m. tomorrow, and then we will also consider doing another one on Monday.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go that way. We'll go that way. Okay. Now, our viewers, please remember that you can join us live on this program. Send a request through any of our channels. Okay, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on YouTube. You can see our handles showing on the page. So please copy it, send your request, and then we'll forward you the link to join. And you can join us and air your view directly to Nigerians and on camera too. Okay, we need to be talking to each other. We need to encourage each other. We need to be steadfast in this fight until we take back our country for good. So please remember to join us. You can make your comments, you can make your observations, make your contributions or suggestions, all right? That will help in the obedient movement, which is taking back Nigeria and rebuilding it for the dignity of ourselves and our children unborn. It has been your friend and fellow compatriot, Tochukwu Ilo, and with me is Obinna from Benin City. And again, we presented and we keep presenting on behalf of the entire crew and members of Obedient Movement, but particularly Obedient Live. We debate every Tuesday night on Daddy Freeze Live, and that's also to invite you to join us this Tuesday as we plug it again with Team Atiku and Team Ashwaju. Last Tuesday was a very big bomb. You know, we educated them and we showed them what is better in thinking about or instead of thinking about few. Obedience think for all, while the other people think for a little few. We are thinking for all. We are thinking for the downtrodden. We are thinking for the oppressed. We are thinking for the hungry citizens of this country who their fatherland has abundance of resources, yet they are going hungry. We are thinking for them. We are also thinking for the politicians, those who have stolen our commonwealth and stupidly think that it is going to last them for all eternity. We are thinking for them that they may repent of their evil and save their children, even their children unborn. Because when you have equitable distribution of the nation's resources, better hospitals will be built, good roads will be constructed, power will be in the efficient and reliable supply, our reputation will change for good internationally, okay? Food will be in abundance, industries will develop, you know, and again, our balance of payment will be favorable. And everybody gets to enjoy. You wouldn't need to travel outside the country for medical care, for what can easily be done here. And you wouldn't have to suffer degradation when you travel and, you know, you feel shy of carrying the green, white, green passport. No! So we pray for them. We are thinking for them that they may repent of their evil and embrace the light of God. Allah bless you. May God bless every Nigerian and give us the enablement to go out there on the 25th and take back our country. I thank you for being with us. Remember, it's going to be 3 o'clock going forward on the day that will be forward. Don't fail to join. And please, don't cease talking to your neighbor. Everybody is needed. I love you. I look forward to celebrating with you the emergence of a new and prosperous Nigeria. Maybe now you have a word for our viewers.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for always being there with us. And as you go, I'll leave you with this. And to remind you that Mr. Peter Gregory Obi still remains our principal and the next president of Nigeria.
Bravo!
Obi, Peter Obi, Obi, Peter Obi, Obi, Peter Obi, Obi, Peter Obi,
Obi, Peter Obi, man for the people. Obi, Peter
Obi, Gerenke, Obi, Labour Party, Obi, best candidate, Obi, man we get vision, Obi, a strong leader, Obi, voice of the masses, Obi, one Nigeria, Obi, everybody vote, Obi, Gerenke, Obi, strong economy, Obi, electricity, Obi, education, I say good governance,
Obi must to win, oh, hey, Obi must to win, oh, hey, Obi we go vote, oh, hey, Obi we go vote, oh, hey, Obi must to win, oh, hey, Obi must to win, oh, hey, Obi Obi we go vote, hey, Obi we go vote. Hey. Today for my tomorrow, let's rise and vote, make Naija better. Labour Party for my tomorrow, your children don't make Naija better.
I no be make mistake again. Me I go vote to BA. My future dey my hands, yeah. I don't go look at your face, this country hard, economy bad very well, oh. I hope be the right candidate, oh. Peter Obi na the man, Labour Party, Obi.
Believe in Obi. He's a good man. And every time he invites me for anything, I'll be there. That notwithstanding, I'm aspired. I want to serve Nigeria.
Okay, so when